Hi everyone, welcome to another tutorial by Jesse Pack. This is going to be for Art 363B illustration or anyone who wants to learn a little bit more about Photoshop tools. Today's tools that we'll be going over will be the Gaussian blur and the motion blur. Again, at any time, if you need to pause the video or slow down to practice, feel free to do so. Otherwise, you can find the downloads on Canvas. This is for a different class. Feel free to navigate to wherever I have mentioned in the class. Otherwise, if you are just watching the video publicly, I will probably leave the downloads in the description below somewhere. Other than that, though, uh, once you've downloaded the images, once you've downloaded the files, let's go ahead and get started. So for this one, we're going to be doing our Gaussian blur. And for this one, we are going to be using our motion blur. Now, just to kind of go over Gaussian blur really quickly, Gaussian blur is a very useful tool. You could do a lot of really cool things with it. So you can make things very blurry, and you can also make things look like they're emitting light. It's also a very uniform blur. So let me show you a couple examples here. So if I grab this image and let's click and drag it to the new layer icon to make a duplicate, and then I go to filter, blur, and then Gaussian blur, it will uniformly blur my image, as y'all can kind of see over here. Kind of like that, right? And if you want to confirm your blur, you can press OK. And that's basically how you do a Gaussian blur. So go ahead and kind of play around with that. Just make sure to make a duplicate of the image. And I would actually recommend blurring your image a little bit, or I mean, blurring your image kind of like this, and then pressing OK after so that we can use this for the next step. So go ahead and play around with it, y'all, and we'll jump back in a little bit. So once you had some time to kind of mess around with it, what we're going to do for the main assignment is we're going to keep the background blurred, but we're going to sharpen the character. There are two ways that you can do this. You can either use your eraser tool or you can use your mask. If you still haven't learned how to use a mask yet, I have a separate tutorial for that I would recommend watching. Otherwise, for now, you can grab your eraser tool and you are going to need a stylus or eraser tool. You press E for eraser. And we're going to use the soft round with opacity. So the soft round with opacity will allow me to just very softly just erase out certain parts. So it's a very soft edge. And I'm just going to go ahead and sharpen our character and maybe just some of the raindrops too, just to. So maybe something kind of like this. And you can see compared to before, I'm just going to move this out of the way so you can see how the shape of my erasing looks. You can see compared to before, we've definitely softened a lot of the image. Make your brush smaller for just very detailed parts. Perfect. Once you've gotten something kind of like this, where the character is sharp but the background is soft, and you should be able to see it when you turn it on and off, kind of like that, you can go ahead and submit this. Before I do save this though, I want to show you all one really cool trick. So if you want to make stuff look like it's glowing, you can also use Gaussian blur for that. To do that, let's play around with the text here. Maybe I want to make the text glow. I'm going to click and drag my text and create a new layer. And that's going to make a duplicate of my text. Once you have that, we're going to right click our text and we're going to rasterize the type. That's going to turn it, because right now it's a type. So if I go to the type tool, I can change whatever I want. But if I rasterize it, it will turn it into an editable like brush. So I mean, it's editable pixels. So I can go ahead and erase it, paint into that layer or whatever. Now on this layer, that's not a text layer, let's go ahead and add a Gaussian blur. By the way, don't click this. It's going to just do what you did last. You want to go back and control always. But you can see over here, I can make my words look like they're glowing with the Gaussian blur as well. Anyways, once you have the top part finished, you can go ahead and submit it. But hopefully that helped a lot with Gaussian blur. So let's go to File, save as, first name underscore last name underscore. Okay, File, save a copy. Always do that after. It'll keep the same naming convention. Press save. And perfect. Now for the motion blur is really cool. If you want to play around with the image, go ahead and make a duplicate. We're going to go ahead and go to Filter, Blur, and this time we're going to go to Motion Blur. And Motion Blur will basically allow you to make it look like things are in motion. So you can choose which angle you want it to blur at. And you can also choose the distance of the blur. You can make it seem like things are moving very, very fast. Like maybe you're spinning at a carnival and, you know, these are the lights that you see. Now, go ahead and play around with motion blur a little bit using this image. And once you're done, we'll go ahead and move on to the next step. Now, once you're done playing around with it, we're going to go ahead and make it look like it rains. Now, to do this, we need to actually create some rain particles. Now, if you still haven't played around with your brushes yet, don't worry. I do recommend it's a little bit better for this, but to keep it simple, let's just use the soft round brush. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and select white. And we're just going to go ahead and make it look like it's snowing first. And I recommend playing around with your size a little bit. Don't make it too big. Kind of like this. And, oh, I messed up. So let's actually delete this here. Good thing I made a save. I want to do this on a new layer. So let's go ahead and do this on a new layer. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and duplicate this layer over here. And we're just going to go ahead and move the rain, and we're going to rotate them. Duplicate again, move the rain, rotate them a little bit. And you can also select all your layers by holding Shift. Right click. Let's go to merge our layers. And we can do that again. Flip, rotate to create more particles. Now, to make it extra believable, I would actually recommend duplicating it one more time, but on the background, we're going to go ahead and make this a little bit smaller, and we're going to add more copies and kind of spread them out a little bit. Something kind of like that. Let's go ahead and merge all the smaller ones in the back. So that way you have two layers of rain. One that's in the foreground and one that's like more in like the background. Now, we're going to go ahead and go to either of these first. It's up to you. And we're going to go to filter, blur, and motion blur. I'm going to increase the distance until it kind of feels like rain and choose a direction I want my rain to fall. So that was kind of good before. For the background, we're going to do the same thing, but I would recommend just angling it a little bit differently, not too much, just to show that there's like inconsistencies. And then that way you can get a much more believable rain. You can even try motion blurring it twice or increasing the let's actually try this really quick. Let's go to motion blur and we can like decrease the distance or we can increase it. Yeah, there we go. That looks better. And you can see like now we're getting a lot more depth in our rain, right? Other than that though, that's basically how you use motion blur, y'all. So you can use it to make it look like things are moving. And you can see this is how we can maybe add effects to our paintings and things like that. But if you have any questions about Gaussian or motion blur, feel free to reach out. And then again, don't forget to save, right? Don't forget to save this as a PSD and a JPEG. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We can set an appointment or talk about it during our lab times. Otherwise, I hope this helps, and I'll see you all in the next video.